big welcome to all the Cube followers. Today, by popular request, we've got one of our clients who's been with us for nearly 4 years. He was with us when he incorporated his company, Woodies Limited, back in July 2019.
Yes.
Our diaries are always clashing, but today, for 1 hour only, we bring you Mr. Jamie Wood and the magic of his products.
Thank you for that glowing introduction, my man. That was nice, right? I think I'm going to bring you home. You should do that as I walk into the bedroom with the wife.
we go back a long way, but not that far back.
I'll need to push that one.
No, you are, my saving grace, you boys, for sure. And I get a really good, sexy looking one as well to come with the package. Yeah, of course. But no, they've been amazing accountants. I'm going to tell you why. You're such amazing accountants in a minute. But first, I want to serve you some orange juice. So, just a quick thing about Woodies. So, initially, we're more about the different parts of the cannabis plant. So, CBD, but mainly I'm not into the cannabinoids at the moment. I'm more into the terpenes.
Okay.
And terpenes like the essential oil from the plant. So, like lavender, like eucalyptus, like tea tree, you extract it with steam. There's no cannabinoids. It's completely legal. But it's a wonderful collection of amazing compounds that contribute to all sorts of different health and things that we don't even know yet.
This is in the lab, right?
Yeah, this is the lab. So this is my special little machine. So this is just a little introduction. I've kept it away, made it nice and orange and CBD. So no naughty smells or nothing.
And that noise is completely normal.
Completely normal. So that's just all that is there is it's a vape cart in a machine. Then you get the vape cart, and then you get the CBD and the orange flavoured terpene. I mean, usually what I do if they're cannabis derived terpenes, then you'll get the sort of cannabis taste on the smoke. So the smoke sort of.
So you can tailor the smells on. So this one's orange.
Yeah. So I tell you this one. I've worked for a few bars. Got one called Incognito in Kingston, and they're an amazing cocktail bar. And they come to me, and I develop. They wanted they've got a Chinese dragon drink in a glass dragon. They wanted to use this smoke through the dragon, but the smoke had to be Chinese flavoured, so jasmine.
But what's coming through that vapour now?
CBD and terpenes, orange terps, but not cannabis derived, sort of botanical.
Arthur's very concentrated there.
And then you've got some fruit.
I've never seen him look this interested.
I'm about to smell it when it goes straight away.
You can, but it's just there really to flavour the drink.
We get a cheers and a photo bit.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to the next 5 years.
Everyone look at 3, 2.
15.
There you go.
So you get the little flavour of the CBD.
It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just a little thing. It's just a little trick that I thought was used to introduce the meeting. We'll get more into some terpenes in a.
So them cartridges, they're the ones that come in the pens as well.
Yeah, so we sell the. I mean, I've got lots of people who suffer from anxiety.
That's right. Yeah.
So the CBD pens flavoured with the cannabis-derived terpenes really help.
Nice.
But when you go onto your website, there's a number of products across a range of segments, for one or better.
I can't stop.
What did you start with?
I started with what happened to me and why I'm even doing this is I was always a big smoker, and about 5-6 years ago I had a small blocked artery, little heart attack action.
Little heart attack.
Yeah. But it was fine. No pain, no nothing. I just felt a little strange. And then my missus, I thought was ill. I went to bed. I had some tablets. I went to the doctor. 2 days later, he said, "You're having a heart attack." So that was a bit of a shock. Got to the hospital. They'd done their thing, cut the stents. I was all good. And then they said, "You can't smoke anymore." So I said, "Okay." I struggled with that for a little bit. I came away from there, and I said to the doctor, "Can I vape?" And I had these. Fun going off somewhere. I was taking these vapes, and they didn't taste like cannabis, and I wanted the taste of cannabis. So
How long ago was that?
about 6 years, 7 years.
Oh, so vapes were
They
around
were
there.
just
It was
coming into
just coming
America.
in.
So I flew out to America and I started working with a company called Incredible Edibles.
Right.
I learned to do extractions. I learned to get the terpenes off the plant. So I sort of brought that back and found I could do it with CBD. I was in my lab. I was playing with a CBD plant. I did the same process I was doing in America, and then this beautiful gold liquid appeared. So I thought, right, I can flavour that, give it to people that maybe want to stop smoking weed, or suffer from anxiety, because it gives you the same taste and smell, but no side effects. So none of that THC stuff. So
You went to college for it as well, right?
I studied.
Yeah.
Did some courses and
Nice.
learned hard. And there's a place in America where they do extraction courses and stuff. So I learned all that. Brought that back. I did actually have pills to start with Woodies, like ashwagandha root and all these valerian root, and then this sort of took over.
Right.
So then I got heavily into the vapes, and because I was smoking them as well from the doctor's orders, and then I just went on a bit of a journey, and skincare, and then all different.
But it's one thing to adopt your lifestyle, but another thing to start a business and make those products the centre of it. What was there like a light bulb moment?
Yeah, really, a few of them. I mean, the love and passion I had anyway for when I used to be able to smoke cannabis was strong, and then taking that and having CBD as a replacement was the next available thing, and legal. So, and the fact that I could then make money. The big thing was, I think I went to a lawyer's office in London. I was doing something in the lawyer's office, and we were sitting there, and we were all talking about, with like lawyers and stuff, weed, accountants, lawyers. I'm sitting there, I'm having a meeting about cannabis legally, and I just thought, oh my God, this is acceptable now. So I can start to try and make money out of my passion. So that was certainly the Eureka moment, looking over London, and then having to be able to use the weed leaf on your products. I mean, it does go against you. I do have problems, business problems.
Yeah, of course, bank accounts.
Bank accounts had that problem with Metro Bank. They said no.
Yeah.
they won't accept CBD, even though you can go to Holland and Barrett and buy CBD, no problem. But again, advertising as well, Facebook, no Instagram.
Really, they're pretty strict.
Yeah. I get, you put stuff up on Instagram, and that's it. Even if it's just about CBD.
Well, they'll take it down.
Yeah, TikTok.
Yeah, I knew the bank accounts. I mean, bank accounts are always going to be a struggle because it's a new product. Crypto as well, same.
Yeah, and the payment providers are okay. The credit card people, they work out okay.
Yeah.
But you can see it's a bit of a wild west. I think some people abuse CBD. I think most people, they get stopped now when they're smoking weed, they say it's CBD, so.
Fine. You've seen lots more people come into this industry.
Yeah, I mean, to tell you the truth, the CBD thing is to me, it's peaked. I think it's.
Oh, really?
It's well, in my little world anyway. I think it's peaked and then starting to go down. But that's why I'm so sort of obsessed with the terpene side of things, because unlike CBD is not an antagonist, so CBD won't bind with your receptors and cause any communication.
Do you want to give us a brief chemistry lesson? Because CBD, cannabis, cannabinoids, terpenes, I think there's a lot of misconception.
I mean, the cannabis plant is an amazing plant to start with, so it's got many faculties and many different health benefits to it. So you've got your cannabinoids, which are your CBG. There's 147 cannabinoids in the plant, so 60 or 70
Naturally occurring, are they?
Right. But 60 or 70 we can't even see. We don't know what they are. You need to take them. You need to sort of, because they're small doses, you need to synthesize it. You need to take it, synthesize it. There's a lot of research still to be done with the old cannabinoids. But then on the other side, you've got the terpenes. And the terpenes. So if the cannabinoids are the car,
right,
the terpenes drive it. Right?
Nice
So all the different terpenes in the build-up. There's lots of them, hundreds of them. And they mix together to combine the smell, the strain. So terpenes in everyday life are like in a strawberry. You've got terpenes in strawberries, they bind together to make the taste and smell of the strawberry. So terpenes are pretty much in everything. But highly concentrated in cannabis, and probably cannabis is probably the most famous place for it. But essentially they're an essential oil mixed together. and that's what we do. That's what I extract. So I'm obsessed with the side. But the cannabinoid side, the CBD, the CBG. So when a cannabis plant starts to grow, the first cannabinoid is CBG. It's the mother of all cannabinoids, and from that cannabinoid, actually, is all the other ones: THC, CBD, CBC, CBN, and different things. So like CBN is an oxidization of THC. So when THC oxidizes, it becomes CBN. CBN is amazing. It's legal. It's amazing. Right, sorry. Illegal, but it's legal. Not illegal in America. So that's really the cannabis plant. So what I do is I take the plant and I deconstruct it, and I separate the cannabinoids at different temperature extraction. So you have different temperature for different cannabinoids. That's how you put them out. Yeah.
But your raw ingredient in your lab is the plant,
Yeah,
or the seed,
you
or
can have CBD. CBD plants. So DHL deliver it. You pay it. They come. They process. I process it.
And it's over to you.
Yeah.
To work your magic.
Yeah. To basically deconstruct. I mean, what I said earlier about the 70 cannabinoids that you don't know what they are. See, with RSO, this is what everyone uses, the cancer patients.
Yeah.
I've read lots of journals, lots of studies, and sometimes it really works great. But the studies I've seen is where they're giving the same animal, they've got a tumour,
Right.
they give the same animal a tumour on a mouse, they give the same amount of CBD and THC, but different plants. So different other makeup, terpene makeup's different, everything. And what was happening is a couple of them, nothing. One of them done well.
Yeah.
Another one depreciated, went downhill quicker. That's probably because you're taking stuff that you don't know what it is.
Of course.
There's 70 cannabinoids in there. So when people go RSO, I'm telling you, you've got to be careful. Because you've got cell diseases in the first place.
Yeah.
And there's 70 compounds that you don't know what they are. And you're taking that.
Yeah.
So it's yeah.
You find people coming to you asking for help with illnesses.
I mean, it's tough because you can't give it. What I did this year, 'cause I got sick of people coming to me and asking for cannabis, and I got people emailing me at 3 in the morning. And I can't sleep, I'm in pain, my fibromyalgia, fibromyalgia, all this problem. I'm suicide.
Really?
Oh yeah, no, I get it.
heavy stuff.
Heavy, deep stuff from people, and I always said I couldn't help them before, and if I did, it's illegal, I'm gonna get in trouble. So what I did is I joined up with a clinic called My Medica. They're a good clinic.
Yeah, when you send me that,
They've got a pharmaceutical attached to it, so they can consult, prescribe, and send you the drugs, and real cannabis.
Perfect.
And I'm trying to work out, because they only really they sell some oils, but they sell mainly flour. Everyone's selling mainly flour. And if I sent you, got you a medicated cannabis flour from a clinic, all legal.
I would obviously deny all knowledge, but
But if you were trying it for medical reasons and it turns up as a flour, what the hell are you going to do with that?
you wouldn't know what to do next, would you?
I mean, they say put it in a volcano and put it in this bag, and you've got a 65-year-old patient filling this bag up. I'm like, no, you need to have it in a vape.
Right.
So at the moment I've got there's like a Silk Road of unlicensed drug shipping for legal purposes, and I've managed to use a company to get on there and have this basically, because it has to be white room made.
So you're going to partner with them?
Yeah, so I'm basically getting the stuff made in Canada.
Oh right, okay.
It will, with my terpenes.
Right.
It will fly over because what we have to do in California, I've got a little guy in a little house, and we go out and we buy vast amounts of legal cannabis from the farms, and we extract it with steam, and we take out the terpenes, and then we take the terpenes, we send them here, and we mix them with different products. So I'm going to send them to Canada. We're going to make the cannabis vapes. So it's very important to me to keep everything natural.
Right, okay.
Everything around the world, everyone's botanical. So they're food grade terpenes, food grade this, food, and it's all fake. So for me, it's all about having the real cannabis, having that real plant, deconstructing it, reconstructing it for the individual.
But you built, quite a good reputation on that basis, right?
Yeah.
I'm brands. I mean, the branding is the next stage.
Yeah,
obviously, you have the idea, you got the product, but then you got to get it out there.
You got to get it out there. I mean, I'm good at that sort of stuff. I think the stuff I'm bad at is the money. And it's taken me a little while to realise that.
I agree.
It's taken me a little, yeah, you agree? It's taken me a little while to realise that, because when I first started in business, I was the man with the dollar. Alright, so I was on it, I had the thing, I was doing QuickBooks, I was doing it all myself, I was doing the VAT return.
I don't believe it.
But the amount of time it
Takes
took.
some imagination in that one.
But it took a lot of time. Yeah, learning QuickBooks was a lot. I had another one as well.
Did you enjoy it?
No,
You had Sage. You had a bit of Sage in there. You threw
Sage.
Yeah, that was the one. Yeah.
Sage, QuickBooks.
That's the software, not the herb.
Yeah, no, it was. Yeah, it was tough, but I loved it, and it was very much part of my sort of Jewish.
But you liked
things.
having that control though.
Huh?
You must have had that.
But it's also you like to see each moving part, right?
Yeah.
You're trying to establish a business.
I did everyone's credit card reconciliation. I did all that for a good few years, and then I sort of got bigger and bigger, and then I got a bookkeeper in, and I think that there's lessons to be learned for sure about just because you've got a bookkeeper, it doesn't mean you're not supposed to keep an eye on them.
No, of course.
I mean,
you just let them go off.
You just let them just go. Get
You're
my
a
VAT
bookkeeper.
return in, do my thing. I had the accountant to do the year-end stuff.
Yeah.
He was creative, to say the least.
Right.
And then I had the bookkeeper's work that came and go.
Yeah.
I found one eventually. I became loyal to him for a long time. But he would still do all the books in. He had them red books, the red square ones.
Oh right.
The ledgers.
Ledgers.
Handwritten
ledgers.
What in this day and age, even still?
Because I did work with him just before. Again, I went back to him, and he does ledgers.
There was no clearance information.
Didn't I never even touched
What ledgers? You know them red books. You must have seen them big red books where you'd have purchases.
If you've ever seen A Christmas Carol, the Dickens, the novel.
Yeah, and he's sitting there, right?
They're sitting there on their raised seats with their big leather-bound ledgers with their quill pen, and they're going, "All right, a bit on that side, a bit on that side," and everything's handwritten. It's old-fashioned. They used to have 3 primary books of account, which was the sales ledger, the purchase ledger, and the nominal ledger, where everything else dropped into. But that's like then, and we've now evolved into software, which basically recreates those still 3 prime books of accounts. And Jamie chose to evolve away from Charlie Farley onto the cube.
He did do the Sage stuff as well. He started to.
Because when we first met you were on the Sage.
Yeah, he started doing
That's right,
it, but he was just no good at it. And things would stay on the ledger and it wouldn't come off, and it was basically I just wanted monthly reports.
Yeah.
And in the sort of 15 years, I never got one.
But how are you making decisions then for the business without that? Just you had a feel.
Yeah, I mean, I was making lots of money.
Oh, so okay.
So it wasn't really a problem. I mean,
Right,
I had a big art company with my dad. We were doing 3 or 4 million a year. I had galleries, I had my events business was doing a couple of million. We just let the dice roll.
That was
What's the VAT return? Yeah, whatever. Bang, sign that off. So it was.
I was going to say, Arthur's got a couple of questions written down actually that you could probably go through.
Yeah, I mean, what I was thinking about was you talked about your terpenes. This little gadget you've got here, have you got like an automatic dispenser that people could use in their houses for those? And would you see any benefits from those?
For the terpenes on their own.
Yeah.
Well, what I do with the terpenes on their own, so I'll show you actually. This is a good time.
Time for another experiment.
Yes. So this is what terpenes are. I'm going to put my little. So this is how this is developed from the cup for in the house type thing, more recreationally, and then you've got the. So what I use these for? These are a little glass. I use these for meditation.
Look like pipettes.
Yeah. Right. So. I don't know what I'm doing that one there. So what I do is I struggled with meditation. I got into meditation a couple of years ago after the heart attack and stuff, but I couldn't do it. Right? I struggled.
I fall asleep.
Yeah, there was 20 minutes, and I'm trying to remain inward, and my mind stays clear. And I struggled. I started thinking about birds, money, and different things. So
good stuff.
Yeah, good stuff. So what I did is I thought, do you know what? I'm going to try using my terpenes.
Okay.
Because cannabis, you couldn't use CBD or anything because it destroys
Of course. No.
the whole thing.
But for the camera there, what are you holding in that what looks like a tiny, tiny little perfume bottle. What is that in there?
This is it's cannabis essential oils.
Right.
So directly from the plant, no CBD, no THC.
And how much work and effort to produce that small quantity?
A lot.
Really?
The problem is you can't. The reason why no one has this is because everyone when it comes to cannabis, they want, especially in America where it's legal, they want to sell it. So it's all money. It's all money. It's just like farming now. So it's all money. This stuff doesn't happen because they can't sell it. It doesn't sell well. It's hard to sell. It's hard. People don't know too much about it, and also it costs so much that people don't buy it. So in a cannabis plant, there's 3% essential oil in there. So you get 30 mil out of a plant, which you can sell for like 100 quid a mil. The THC you can get and sell £5,000 a kilo. So 300 pounds a kilo versus.
And to extract that time basis, how long does that take? Is it a time?
You've got to distill. You take the cannabis, you put the cannabis, and you can do it with hemp as well very successfully. So lots of hemp. So you take the hemp, you put it in the distill. Yeah. The steam it heats up, it rises, it goes through the pipe. Nice. It picks up the oil of the plant, goes through the pipe and out the other end, and then you pour the water out and you're left with the oil, and then you take that oil and send it to me.
Smell it though.
So, and what this does for me, so just hold that a minute. So what it does for me is it relaxes. There's unlike CBD, terpenes bind to your receptors. Some of them do, beta-carotene and stuff like that.
Yeah, it is quite intense to smell.
Yeah, it's intense. So what it does is it binds to your receptors, your CB1 and CB2 receptors, which then causes an neurological link to your brain. So it will affect serotonin levels and things like that, but it's not a cannabinoid. This is the entourage effect of the cannabis. So you smoke the cannabis and the terpenes guide the cannabis.
This is a terpene.
This is a terpene. So this is a strain, like essential oil from the strain. There's no cannabis in it. It's completely legal.
So.
And then what you do is you take it like this, and you just smoke the end of it, like you're smoking a joint, or like a cigarette, and just inhale it.
It is nice though.
When you breathe out,
Very nice sort of, a very nice calming effect.
So you use this while you meditate?
Yeah, but then I give it to people with anxiety. Yeah. So
well, we got a hushed silence in the room, but
it's anxiety.
When you breathe it out, I can proper taste it.
So is that in these pens as well? This is different.
Yeah, that's what I use to flavour my pens.
Right.
So amazing for anxiety, but some people don't want CBD, so you can just smoke it like this. And some people don't like to vape; they just like to.
Oh right.
It's interesting that you use the word smoke when the last thing's going on is any smoke. It's pure liquid.
Yeah. It's inhaling it.
So when you're drawing it, what's actually happening to the?
What's happening is the terpenes are going into your body and they're binding with your receptors and they're causing. For me, they cause a nice calming. I feel calm. I feel chilled afterwards. I feel a little bit tired.
That's cool.
So these are the. This is what's extracted from the plant and used as a separate thing, but I see it as a cure for anxiety, 100%.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, because what I've done is I've developed from that. I've developed these.
Oh.
So these are. I just throw these away.
You throw them away.
Yeah. Don't have to wash them; they break really easy. But so I use these. I'm getting this all rebranded, and they're going to be your kit for at home and everything for meditation or just for chilling out.
All with the same brand, the black and the gold?
No, I've got a more medical.
Oh, this is going to be the Medi?
Yeah, the Medi.
Mediwood. Right, Mediwood, yeah. But your partner, they can say it's cannabis based.
What do you mean?
The partner you're working with on the Medi side.
Yeah, I mean for the pharmacies, yeah.
Yeah, pharmacies,
yeah. But just for the getting the treatment for anxiety out there, I think as soon as you say cannabis,
yeah, of course,
it destroys it. I can't do anything. I can't advertise. I can't go on Facebook. I can't. Things getting blocked.
Has that been the biggest thing you faced as a business?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because you know that you know you're doing okay with yourselves, and you know there's a whole massive pool of people out there, I mean, my mate managed to get his body high bud
Right.
on TikTok.
That's at Tilly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And he had something like 350 grand worth of non-checkouts just from a TikTok video.
Really?
Attached to the shop, and obviously they went to America and they thought it was too expensive and everything else. I know he's changing it now, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
a good thing to work on. He's got this whole big.
Wow, what a network he's built
Yeah,
there.
but that what's the name? That TikTok, the
Yeah.
power of it. So for me, I want to make some cool videos of these on there.
Are you doing the TikTok and?
Well, once I can, my laptop,
Yeah.
they're even worse.
Yeah.
They take me off faster than I can say, get
We're a
on
bit,
there.
we're a bit new to TikTok.
Yeah,
Max
TikTok's great, but
guiding us.
they just take you off. So
We're on the way.
they're harsh, and I think because it's Chinese censor, the Chinese are censored.
I thought it was Chinese.
Yeah.
Chinese government controlled, isn't it, TikTok?
Yeah.
Volume
So-
and numbers though. That look
So
at videos.
they anything remotely attached to anything illegal, gone.
Yeah.
I
And
even
they
took-
don't give you an explanation,
No.
and
just
then
take
you've
it.
got it takes you like a
No.
couple months to get it
Yeah,
back.
you got to get it back. You got to fight for it. They just take. I mean, stupid videos that have nothing to do with anything illegal.
Is that your Instagram and social media? That's your main platform for getting customers.
Yeah, I mean SEO.
Yeah, you're a big fan of SEO.
I'm a big fan
So
of SEO.
what is the next step for you to get these out there, do you think? What are we going to see?
I mean, I need to go down the usual things. I need to get some money. I'm not allowed to use my own money anymore. I've not got any left. I spent it all on cannabis products. But very much into other people's money, using that to promote the business. OPM. I learned from the burger restaurant not to put my own money into not to put my own money into.
Well, that was one of your ideas. You
Yeah,
were serial. This isn't your first venture.
No. This is obviously not my first
Yeah,
rodeo.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I've had art galleries. I had 2 big art galleries in Mayfair
Yeah.
for about 15 years. And
Where did the art come from?
art come from my dad.
We've got a few pieces here that were being
Yeah,
framed in the office.
The art come from my dad. My dad,
Yeah.
he's a rock star.
Yeah.
He in typical rock star fashion, he kept losing all his money.
Right.
I was about 24, 25. I had a successful events business with working for Deutsche Bank.
Nice.
One procurement. I had a 10-year contract with Deutsche to do all their AGMs and bringing their acts in. So I did that for a long time. And then they got in trouble, mum and dad. They got involved in a health club called the Harrington Club.
Oh right.
Their manager at the time got them into it. They ended up, 5 million against the house. Everyone got ripped off.
Right.
They were paying 220 grand a quarter rent. It was in South Ken.
What age were you then? When that
I was about 24.
Oh right. So
Whereabouts in South Kent?
Harrington Road, Harrington Street.
Harrington.
Yeah, Harrington Club it was.
It's quite near Gloucester Road.
Yeah. So they did that. Then they were messed up. So I came in and took everyone to court and fired everyone. And then my dad said, "Look, will you help me out, manage me?"
But up to that point, what were you doing? Where did you get that skill? Oh right. So that helped you get that skill.
What happened initially is that I was a roadie.
All right. Yeah. Of
I
course.
I went on Nirvana, Madonna, The Stones, U2, Eric Clapton. Went on a few Guns N' Roses. I worked for Harvey Goldsmith for a long time, so I did a lot of local crew in England, and I got a few tours. And then when I was on tour, I started working with the dressing room departments.
Right.
So you'd go on these big tours, and say on U2's tour, you have the Stones, and the next day we're going to another city, but they wanted the dressing room to be the same.
Oh right.
And then it wasn't there. You'd get there and there'd be loads of plants and stuff just sort of logged in, hired, but nothing. You had to make your best and try and design a room. So I went home after that and set up a company called Inner Sanctum, which was a furniture hire company. So I went and bought all the furniture from Italy, put it all together in flight cases, like in guitar, all packed in cases, and all like fake plants and lights and like a whole truck full of stuff. And then I'd send it on the road and charge them £5 grand a week. And with 2 crew, they'd to go and work out for a year with the kit.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you'd follow the kit around as well?
Yeah.
Or?
And I built up to be quite a big company, and I sold it to the guy that was running it for like 300 grand or something when I was like 20.
Oh, so you went through, selling the company as
Yeah.
well?
And then I had all companies were to do with music. So I had a
Right.
I had a furniture company, I had a pop company, and then I had a drape company. And what happens? I started renting furniture to events, to parties and stuff. And then I thought I'll get to parties, and then we need some lights. We need this design. We need that design. And then I got PlayStation as a client. And then I started building all PlayStation stuff, and you know, it was.
But how are you getting the clients? Just connections you have?
Yeah, I was out.
Oh, you're down about.
Out and about. That's why I got the work.
Network.
Yeah, I got the work. And I was good because I could pretty much get to everyone. In them days, I had a lot more fun. So I'd be like, all right, British Airways guy. All right, I'm going to send the British Airways guy some Stones tickets, and then I'm going to call him. And like the CEO of PA, our guys wanting the sun on the phone for you, and they'll take the call.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, every time?
Most of the time they'll take the call or get back to me. I had all sorts of them. I had people like Eric Fing from Google and
really?
What's his name? Steve Jobs. You know, and they all got back to me. I know Jonathan Ives now.
That's madness.
Johnny Ives, the designer of the iPod, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's fucking lunatic.
Wow.
Is he?
Partied with him a few times, yeah.
So how long ago are we talking now? You know,
This was
with
sort
your
of 20,
inner sanctum
I was
and your
sort
events.
of 20. I set that up. I sold it. I was about 23, and then I got into the events. I was doing the events for a few years, and then I took over my dad's management.
So you only set up your own company though?
Yeah. I was fast.
On your own?
Yeah. Well, no, I had a partner initially.
Okay.
I had a few partners. So I was always good with it. I like partners because they could do other stuff.
Yeah, well, you know, it's definitely worked well for us.
Horses for courses.
Yeah. In fact, I could do with a partner now, actually.
Oh,
I've tried to find a few partners now. I haven't worked out so good, but.
But that is something you would entertain, having someone.
Yeah, I think the thing with the money side of things, like I said when I was younger, I was very much on it.
Yeah.
I think as I've got older, I don't want to deal with it.
Well, you know people are better at it as well.
Much better.
That's the thing.
Much better than me, and it does take up a load of time.
Yep.
And especially I was a bit anal. I used to do every figure, every box, you know.
But the bits you enjoy is obviously the turbines, the research.
Yeah. Well, since I've done the more CBD cannabis stuff, I've sort of come out and I've really left the money side,
Right.
like neglected it, like really don't want nothing to do with it.
So what's going to happen next?
Well, I'm just recovering from. I did a deal last year with some investment with, as you know, I did a deal with some dude. The deal that he pestered me to do for ages was for him to have pretty much full control, and I just make products, which I was quite happy with. I thought, you know what, I don't have to deal with marketing. I don't like that either. The digital
Do you
market,
not?
No.
Because that digital marketing is obviously very different from when you started your first businesses.
It used to be so much easier before. I could promote a product,
Yeah.
call the press, do a party, you know, get the press down,
That was it.
look after a few press, get a few articles, do a few interviews, boom.
A few tickets.
That was
Bosh.
it.
That was
Bosh. Now we've got like algorithms and SEO and
Demographics.
and then you've got to plan your website with keywords and
Yeah.
all these horrible nice.
So bad.
Oh, dude, it's a minefield, and
Yeah.
definitely not for me.
But where do you think you are now in terms of the products you want to go forward with? Maybe the ones that you're going to keep on the shelf, because there's quite a few that you've tried.
That work, some don't. I think I was trying to get rid of some of my new SEO guy, and he was going to me, well, the reason why you haven't sold them is because you haven't told anyone about them. You know, online, how it works with the magic and everything else. So basically, I had a partner who come in, put some money in, didn't do anything.
Left.
Didn't do anything. Turned around and made all these false promises.
Yeah. Set you back that.
Yeah,
Really
really
did.
straight. Set me back. I probably lost. I was nice trajectory.
Good momentum. Yeah.
Trajectory when
Yeah.
you know it's so now it's sort of back to basics. I need to get out.
So, partner out there potentially, how would you like, what would you like them to do?
Money, marketing.
That is the key for you, the
Yeah,
marketing.
I love doing the content. And I love.
Well, we've seen when you've spent on the content, you know, you get a pick up immediately of the sales,
Yeah.
but at what point is it a little bit of a false return? I mean, how much are you talking? I mean, to take this business, you know, to the next level, what sort of investment do you think?
It just depends. I think with things like the mushrooms, and I've got these good mushroom range that I've introduced because mushrooms are very much part of
And are those here today?
Yes, these are the mushrooms I usually sell.
These?
Yeah. So cordyceps, I put terps in the mushrooms as well. There's
Which ones are these? Because you've got loads of strains of mushrooms.
This is all of them. So this is the terpenes, the turkey tail.
A blend of lion's mane, turkey tail.
Right, yeah, there you go.
That's a thing.
And reishi.
This is about to learn.
Not rishi.
Reishi. So this is one my mum I'm doing. So I'm a big expert on the mushrooms. She's expert on the sort of roots and stuff. So she brings the roots. We've done a little collaboration, and that's going to come out soon. But with the mushrooms I've just secured
Longevity, this one.
Yeah, keep you old and young at the same time.
Joe Woodies.
Joe Woodies, yeah.
That's brilliant, that.
The Joe Woody.
Yeah, the Joe Woodies.
Wow.
So it's a little collab with Mum because the mushrooms I'm doing amazingly well with. I think people are starting to be educated now, and that's the key. I think to make sales is to educate people. Just like
Big thing, the mushrooms. Loads of people seem to be.
Now it's gone mad.
Yeah.
And I'm making decent sales on the mushrooms, like really decent. So,
volume-wise, or the margin
just,
as well.
Just I'm selling them.
Yeah, well, there you
never
go.
really sold them.
Well, you got your bookkeeper to your left there.
Yeah. Cool.
What sort of sales is he up to at the moment?
He's still catching up from the last one.
I'm playing catch up. Where do you think you're at?
We're still catching up.
Not wanting to put Arthur on the spot there.
I was doing about nearly 20 grand a month.
Yeah, I remember we were seeing 2022s, and we were projecting that ahead.
It dropped with the new partner till 7 or 8.
Well, you were told to stop the SEO.
Yeah, I stopped everything.
Yeah.
So then obviously from May you could see the drop off.
Yeah.
So that dropped, and then I had some money from the investment, so that just kept the business going. And then
Right, so about 7 or 8 a month, it fell back to that.
Yeah, fell back.
So that suggests that is your core following.
Yeah.
So that's 100 grand a year as your base business.
Yeah, which is not too bad.
No, if you get up to 20, 30, you
I'm
think.
back to 12, sort of 12 now, sort of between, probably like nearly 3,000 a month now, without any advertising, without any SEO, just my sort of Instagram and.
So any new partner that might be out there, you're looking for, some working capital,
Yeah, maybe a bit.
some money to stock you up, or
I've learned from my mistakes, but it's the distributors now. But this product, I really feel that I can. This is a mass market product for me. I'm always looking for the mass market stuff where we can sell low, high volume.
Well, so on point as well, with the anxiety.
I was just want to button through the question. I mean, I don't know if you've got any questions on there, Arthur, about the financial side, with maybe Cube's integration with working with you recently, or maybe like trading abroad. I don't know if you do that.
Yeah, I think what happened with me and Q is that I had to. They wouldn't. When I did my deal with the partnership, they wouldn't let me. They wanted to use their
That's
own.
right. Yeah.
Keston Reeves, but they did nothing. They didn't even do a back return.
well, there was a very, very restrictive agreement they wanted you to sell.
Yeah, all that restrictive, all that.
Do what you're
And they
told.
didn't
Do
do
what you're
anything.
told.
Yeah.
It was quite amazing. So I went to a fortune teller and she told me I should do the deal.
And that was.
I wasn't going to do the deal, but the fortune teller said, "Do the deal."
Where's she now?
Yeah, she's fortune teller.
Still going to see her?
She said, no. But she
Did you get-
said,
did you get a refund?
It was an odd
she
deal.
said that you're going to get the infrastructure. That's what I was looking for. I was
Yeah.
looking for the infrastructure, that corporate backbone, that stuff that I'm not really good at.
But the contacts as well, that they had, pretty good contacts that could have really grown the business.
Yeah.
But it felt like it was a little bit of a pet project and just sat there.
Yeah, he was a
And then
strange
you
guy.
lost that momentum.
And he was a friend as well. That was the problem.
Yeah.
So.
Because we were obviously on top of all the bookkeeping and accounts and things like that. We've been helping you with the R&D stuff, but anyway, you're back to the
Cube family.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I never wanted to leave in the first place, but it was just a control freak, really. The guy was, but I thought I was doing good for the company and giving that corporate structure that I couldn't give.
and the cash injection. You could see what you would do with it.
But the cash really just got wasted because it just went on actually the losses and running the business.
If that went into the SEO, it would be a different business.
Yeah. It'd be a lot more.
What's
sales-wise.
it been like for you? I mean, for like the other accountants or junior accountants that are out there, doing the bookkeeping and stuff. What's it?
I mean, I think it's quite straightforward. Your bookkeeping.
Yeah, from my point of view, to have someone that is trusting and you can work with well,
Communication is a massive.
Yeah, I mean, I had this last lady, Galen, whatever her name was, the mushroom lady, and she, I never spoke to her once on the phone. It was always over email. So, you'd never really get any accurate. Because when you talk, you get, oh well, this is this and this is that, and you can really be accurate. But when you're writing email,
Well, also you can be interactive. It's important for us, for all our clients. If we don't understand what you do, how can we advise you to the best of our abilities? It's a two-way street, isn't it?
Well, the research and development, that was through a conversation we had, where I asked what this cost was, and he said, I spend that on research.
but you have to.
There was a clue there, big clue.
There you go.
With your accountancy firm and bookkeeper and the end of year accountants as well, they're always separate from me. I always had my bookkeeper, and then I had my end of year.
Oh, they weren't in the same firm?
No.
Oh, right.
I would employ him separately, so he'd come and I'd pay him 3 days a week, and then. But he obviously knew the firm, and he was recommended by the firm.
Right. Okay.
But he was free though.
Yeah, so you have done that.
Goes all over the place.
Yeah. See, ours is a little bit like an assembly line where you have the bookkeeper. He prepares the end of year. Obviously, throughout the year, we'd have a conversation with the client. But at the end of the year, it's a working papers that's quite in depth, and then you add the value of looking at the year end, going right. What do we need to show here, Jamie? What's the plan? What are you doing next year?
It's the trust as well, the relationship you have with your accountant. And I think that's what this place is wonderful, because everyone is friendly, everyone's great, everyone knows me. You feel comfortable, and you also feel like with money stuff, because I don't want to deal with it. You're giving over your financial information to people.
Of course.
To then sort of.
What's for their advice? Their expertise.
So Richard was 100% right saying that you need to understand your business, and that's one thing that you guys love to test us when we come in. We're talking about our client, for example, Woodies, and you'll go, what does the company do?
Yeah.
And sometimes we're a deer in the headlights, we have no idea, and that's when we realise, oh, hang on a second, I need to understand.
You need to get closer.
So how important is it how beneficial is it for the accountant to actually like their client's product, for example?
To like the product.
To be interested in their business. Does that have to be a product?
Well, all businesses interest us because someone's, gone out on a limb.
A couple of times. I helped the dog a couple of times.
Yeah. We had some fast healing pace where Tabasco had a bit of a scar on his leg. It wasn't healing. Wilma as well. Yeah. So that gave a little bit of a boost to the healing.
He wouldn't have known to ask me if he didn't take an interest in the business. Yeah,
and in fact, my interest in CBD and organics generally came from one of our other clients who was a vet, and he was getting great healing and fast healing on Mr. Humphrey on animals, and he would have these little 100 mil, 200 mil, and they were seriously expensive to bring into the business, but the results were phenomenal. I once saw him bring a puppy, was carried in, and after half an hour treatment ran out. I mean, I guess I could easily be taken in by that, but I mean this was happening all the time. So we used some of these little pastes, some of these little drops, and we were seeing results in our own animals. I even saw it on my mum's health.
The chocolate, right?
Yeah. I mean, my mum had a stroke back in 2019, and a little tub mixed in when she was given a 2% chance of recovery. Now we'll never know, but if that was the 2%, I was going to take the chance. And then 13 weeks later playing golf. So we're very interested in the product.
And all these medicines and pharma and big pharma, it all comes from plants. It all comes from the Amazon. All these things start somewhere. They're just born in a lab. They're mixed with other things and they're made. So the plant. Not just cannabis, all sorts of plants, mushrooms.
Yeah, I mean, the real difference is it's just more synthesised. With the big pharma, they have to produce the big quantities, so they have to produce it synthetically. Whereas with a bespoke, tailored business like yours, you can actually focus on the better ingredient, get the better result, and hopefully get the sales to support it.
And that's the patience that I have, but they take a lot out of you. So what about your clients as well?
Do you find you get questioned a lot?
Lots of questions.
Yeah.
But when you educate people, you sell things.
That's true.
They buy into it.
The question you get asked the most?
Anxiety. How do I get rid of my anxiety? How do I get to sleep?
Right, so it's the same themes come in time and time again.
Lots of some ADHD. When they call me about pain itself, then it's very much
Anxiety,
over to the
pain relief, ADHD, and these you're going forward now. You're gonna focus on
and the mushrooms. I mean, the mushrooms give me open up more different chances to help with different ailments. So things like lion's mane, wonderful for the brain, Alzheimer's, that type of thing, brain health. Cordyceps, amazing for energy. Reishi for immune system.
Are you going to be focusing down onto a smaller number of products, or are you still quite keen to keep the range open?
I mean, my thing is my love and passion of the terpenes, and most of my products. I mean, even here, I went to a crystal show and decided to do crystals.
Are they edibles?
Huh?
Are they edible?
No, I do edibles. So there's the edible ones. They're the sweets. So they're just made with.
Because I remember the last time we had a serious conversation was going to be about putting these in every newsagents up and down the country. You remember? I think your partner was going to help, but never quite got you there.
Yeah, it never really happened. So that's the mission that we're trying to. Disposables, they're okay.
They must be huge.
Yeah, they're getting there. The CBD disposables are good, but again, I think this one here it's cheap, it's fast, it's on your pocket, and it seems like everyone in the world has anxiety.
What about
people love that sort of thing as well. I've got an Olga sticker.
Yeah.
But I mean, something like that. You know, what sort of price is that selling for, or do you plan to sell that for?
$4.99.
I mean, that is ridiculously cheap.
Yeah.
And margin's good for you.
Margin good. I'm all in for about 50p.
And the usage, how often would you?
You get sort of 200 to 300 in house.
And how many a day would you recommend?
As required. I mean, there is no license. There's no novel food. There's no licensing. It's an over-the-counter drug, or over-the-counter medicine, as it were. But it's sort of like my own sort of mini invention, and it's been going. I've been keep giving it to people, and they keep going. This is fantastic.
It's brilliant.
And is it out there now? Is it launched?
Not for sale, no.
And
I'm working
when might that get to the?
I'm working on the packaging. I'm hopefully like 2 weeks ago. I wanted to start selling it, but I'm trying to get better this time, so that I can do Facebook ads with that.
But the packaging, the original packaging, came from you, or did
Yes.
you get someone involved at that stage?
Yeah, I mean, I have designers and stuff like
Yeah.
that, and graphic designers, but I work with them to come up with the right
But all the other ideas, like you've got the book that you sent to us,
book. Yes,
and the journey,
book.
the journey of that guy. What's the story of the guy? That was good. Good concept.
There's a few.
Are these things that you
Pheno.
Pheno?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good story.
Yeah, I've still got Pheno still going. It's just like I said. I've only just got my my groove back. Really.
Yeah.
It stressed me out. The whole
Yeah, no, I can tell.
partner thing was, it's my baby, and he's messing with it. And Woodies, Wonders of Weed. Cannabis has come on so much.
It's a decent feeling
Got a little
book.
message to us in there, of course.
Cannabis has come on so much.
Probably the best accountants. Well, you can't argue with that, can you?
It's come on so much.
Nice
It's
book.
come on so much. So it tells you about your endocannabinoid system. It tells you about the different ways you can smoke it now. And
Did you write this one?
yeah. Well, I started writing it. I did all the chapters. I wrote it out, and then I realised I was really still dyslexic. So
There you go. To the coolest.
To the coolest, just to read this out in case you're not getting this on the podcast. To the coolest bad boy accountant to ever live. Enjoy the greatest weed.
I'm guessing it's book.
Enjoy the greatest weed book ever.
Signed off. by
Love.
the man himself.
The man himself. The king of the lab.
So I gave that to Keith Richards.
What, this book?
Yeah. So if you look at the first page, no, keep going. No, other way. I gave it to Keith Richards the other. No, keep going.
Exactly.
You look a bit different there.
Glasses on.
Keep going.
Professional.
Keep going, yeah, keep going. So I gave this to Keith Richards to have a look at the book. And that there,
Yeah.
that picture there, he was convinced it was him. But
Well, I
it's
was.
not. He's got a beard. Keith can't grow a beard.
Let's see it, Richard.
Right, so we showed him the book and he starts going mad. He starts shouting at my mum and that. He's going, "What are you doing? You didn't ask my permission to have this, to use my photo and all that." I'm like,
Looks
"Dude,
nothing like him.
it's not you." He wouldn't have it. He wouldn't have it. I had to send him the Getty Images invoice to prove it wasn't him. I thought he could have come after me.
But was this a real passion, this book? I know
Yeah.
you wanted to
So,
have
so
something.
I started
Coffee
writing
table,
out on the plane. So it was like the first chapters, all sort of the history of cannabis, why it was made illegal, where it comes from, racist connotation.
All right.
Is this available on the website?
Yes, yes.
What's
There's two. The leather one.
perfect
is-
Christmas gift,
Yeah, the
perhaps?
leather one is like 70 quid, and the other
70 quid.
one, yeah, the leather one. But the normal one's like 30.
What's this one? Is this the leather
The
one?
leather one. It's only because the case costs 50.
I've got a question. Either if you feel want to answer this, but
Mm.
a quick summary of why. I mean, I know it's in the book, but for those that may not read the book, but a quick summary of why it was made legal, and then a quick reason.
No, they made it illegal.
Yeah, and then a quick reason why
They
it
made it-
should be legal.
Yeah, it should be legal. Lots of reasons, but the legal one was because they imported. They took the slaves from Africa to build the plantations in Jamaica, the Caribbean.
And also Brazil. I read a lot about that recently. Brazil took 3 times as many African American slaves as did the southern states.
Yes, and then so they took all the slaves out there. But what they had out there was fields and fields of cannabis, growing freely in the Caribbean. And what was happening is the slaves were smoking the weed and being unproductive. So the white plantation owners made it illegal there first, and then it filtered over to the UK, I think, in the 40s.
Wow.
So it's in the book.
Nice.
And why should it be made legal? In a quick summary, I know it's probably
I mean, why should it? Well, why should it be made legal is alcohol's legal, and I can't think of any real medical use for vodka.
Or on a wound. Or
Yeah.
Yeah, you can sterilise a wound.
Yeah,
Do
maybe,
you
but
think-
that's about the best.
It's about it.
I think the medical properties of cannabis
Yeah.
are so vast and so many that for it to be illegal is quite embarrassing. It should be, it should be well before alcohol.
Yeah.
Again, the medical properties of cannabis, plus the fact that if you went to a bar and smoked a joint, it's very unlikely you're going to get into a fight. So,
Mm.
yeah, that's pretty much.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more to go with that.
No, I'm sure.
But it's. I mean, it truly. I always said to my mum's a big alien believer, and I always said to my mum that this little plant causes so many amazing problems. I mean, for such a little plant, it's the most successful plant of them all, really.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I always said it maybe it's from space. Maybe it's not from this.
I think that's
It is incredible, even the way it joins in with our endocannabinoid system. So we have our own cannabinoids that we produce in our body when we have orgasms and things like that. We've got a thing called 2-anandamide and 2-AK, I think it was, if I remember rightly. 2 different cannabinoids that we naturally produce. So what we have is these CB1 and CB2 receptors in our bodies, makes up our endocannabinoid system.
Mm.
The endocannabinoid system is like an early warning system for the brain. So if something happens, we get an infection, we get a leg, we get a swelling or whatever, our brain, the CB1, the endocannabinoid system will detect the problem, will tell the brain.
Right.
The brain will then issue the right immune response to fix that problem. So so CBD nurtures that endocannabinoid system, so I always say to people, CBD is like the batteries in an alarm. If you have a smoke alarm,
Yeah.
right? So if the batteries are working good, the smoke alarm goes off quick, you can put out a fire. If your endocannabinoid system isn't telling your brain fast enough that you've got a problem, it can escalate into all sorts of problems, viruses, disease, everything. So CBD certainly doesn't mix with the CB1 receptors, and like THC will come and bind with the receptor like a key, and
Yeah.
will take over that receptor. Basically, she's mum's told me to give niacin, and specifically I told them non-flush, because niacin awakens your blood cells and you get a itchy, burny, rash feeling in the body, because it's quite intense. I did it when I was driving. I'm like, Mum, what the hell have you given me? Anyway, I've gone this little old lady to get the niacin, and they've got the wrong one. and she's taking it, and I think she's set herself on fire. Like, she's going, this is the worst thing to do. I'm like, Mom, what do I do? She's like, no, she must be really unhealthy if it's out in that way. I'm like, oh no, so never again, if I like kill a client, never again am I giving out niacin.
So that's a top tip. Try and keep your clients alive.
Yeah.
It's a suggestion.
But the mushrooms do, like I was saying earlier, the mushrooms definitely give me a different space to work in, other than there's only limit to what cannabis can do.
But you mentioned My Medica,
Yes.
this clinic that you're working
Yes.
with. I mean, is that day-to-day involvement? Is that
Much day to day. I get
advisory?
They come, I advise them.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get certain products in there with the mushrooms and the inhalers for, because these clinics, and I did point it out to them, what I was saying earlier about the cannabis, medical cannabis when it arrives in bud form. Now there's lots of anxiety. People talk about anxiety all the time.
Yep.
And most of the clinics now, there's 4 or 5 big cannabis clinics now operating in London. And they say, come to us, we're going to fix your anxiety. But now, if I've got anxiety and you give me a joint to smoke, I'm not only having a more further anxiety attack, but I think I might go into a panic attack as well. Right? That is not the place I want to be. So I think they've confused things a little bit with trying to get patients, using anxiety to try and get patients to take cannabis is for me, is completely wrong. So, but using something like this, which is part of cannabis, but without the THC, you have to take it out the THC because it's strong and stronger now than ever. So having this on its own allows you to use the different parts of the cannabis without having the adverse effects.
So if we were to project forward, say to the end of this year, where would you like to see Woodies?
I'd like to see back to that sort of 25,000 a month minimum, and that's just
A permanent partner who's in it for the 2 to 3 year?
or even a permanent distributor. I've just got a distributor for the mushrooms. We're going to see how that goes. But
In the UK or further afield?
In the UK.
Yeah.
But I really want a distributor for this, is what I want. This is what I think this gives me.
Yeah.
I'm always looking for mass market products because I'm a very niche brand. And I know to make the big money, you need to be out there across the board.
Well, you got to sell a lot of these,
You've got to sell a lot of them, yeah.
to cover.
Yeah.
And how is that? You say you're going to put some branding on this?
Yeah, I've got
some packaging on its way.
packaging, branding, just a
Almost done?
sticker, like
Almost
the
finished it?
sticker. And it's got the one that peels off with the information inside.
Nice.
That should be printed. I should get that this week, and then I'll start giving them away as more research,
Yeah, yeah.
and then I'll start to sell them, and then I'll.
To this point, how much do you think this journey's cost you in terms of the investment that you've put into the business? As the main and sole director that's been there from the very start.
I had 2 rounds I had seed investment of I put in I think about 60, 70 to start with to get it going. Then I raised 200 off 2 different people at the beginning.
You met one of those, I think.
Yeah, James.
Yeah.
He's still there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got the 250 in from the guy last year. But 150 went to the 140 went to the
Buyout, wasn't it?
buyout, and I was left with like 100 grand.
If you were starting it again, what would you do differently from the beginning, if anything?
Apart from come to Cube at the start.
Yeah.
Of course, I would come.
Straight to the Cube.
Straight to the Cube. I'd have gone to you first. Let's do a business plan. That's a good thing about you guys. That's a good thing. You're not just, and especially you. You're not. You've helped me many times with things like raising money. Which is pretty fucking important.
But when you start thinking about the year ahead, we're always getting bombarded by investment opportunities and also some of the crowdfunding platforms, and I'm seeing more and more and more. But what was interesting earlier, you said you thought the CBD might be on the other side of the demand hump.
Yeah.
What makes you think that?
Just recently with. Certainly with, I think Novel Food has done that. They put more restrictions on it, so less people can sell it. The more the big companies, and the big companies are using bad quality and not the right amounts. But when you are, I think with CBD, you need to be spoken. People still the misconception, because it's so closely related to cannabis, like to getting stoned. People think it's going to get you to sleep. People think it's going to cure your anxiety. People think, and it doesn't. It's a vitamin. is what it is. And I think people are starting to realise that it is a vitamin. It doesn't get you to sleep, and it doesn't.
So it should just
doesn't
be
shit you out.
more of a routine part of your day-to-day program.
It should be vitamin C.
So if you're taking vitamin C, why not?
You should take CBD. Yeah, it's exactly the same. It just nourish your, you know, vitamin C is for your immune system. It nourishes your immune system. CBD nourishes your endocannabinoid system.
I think the book's worth tapping into. I think I'll be online later and get a couple of those. I can think of a couple of people that might benefit from a good old read of that.
But any problems, come to me. I mean, I consult for free. I don't charge my consultant, and I'll work with people to try and get them. And that's where I get my data from. I get data. Data is key for me, and knowing what to do with the dry. And that's why I'm always learning, because someone says this does this for them and that does that for them, and I'm like, okay, well, maybe this can do this for them, you know. So it's.
You don't really feel much pressure from your existing investors, or looking to attract more investment. I mean, because it's always struck me that, you know, it's just sort of slowed you down, not having adequate access to the markets. It's just really put almost a lid on what could happen. Yeah,
and that's why I'm weaving my way through, like with the sticks, I went to a crystal fair.
What was the crystal?
So I went to a crystal fair, and they have, again, it's the same sort of calming thing as this. I keep it by my bed. I get the crystals and I mix the cannabis terpenes with the crystals, so you can smell them if you open the bag. And I use it to, there's people putting them in bras and stuff, and doing all this stuff with these crystals. I've never seen anything like it. I went to this crystal show at Earl's Court.
Well, a lot of ladies have the crystals in their handbag day to day today. Yeah.
Knickers in their handbag. So what I've done is I've tapped into that with the crystals. So I give them as free gifts as well for the moment.
Woodies
crystals. Just getting it out there. So, and I've got the creams, the vapes, the shrooms, the sweets.
It's got it all.
Yeah, but you're trying to get through that barrier.
But if you did get a big investor, they would probably.
You'd want a bit more.
Probably just stream it down.
They'd want a bit more focus. That's what I'm thinking. It's like, you imagine if you're on Dragon's Den, and you've got Peter and friends in the room, and he's going, look, I love your range, but how am I going to get in? What's my return? How am I going to get out? And you're looking for one or two or three of these products that take off.
You're looking for the hero product. I mean, the vapes have always been consistent. The mushrooms have got amazing potential. And then we got this. So it's definitely trying to, this brings a whole new market with my mum. Yeah. So we're always looking to catch that wave, aren't we? And when we get that wave, then we hammer that product out as much as we can. But at the end of the day, I always looked at it as I sell terpenes, and terpenes is my core ingredient, and terpenes are reflected in every one of my products.
So everything you see on the table today has terpenes at the heart of it.
Yeah.
All right.
Just before we wrap up, final question.
I was just for me, how would you sort of break this misconception about the cannabis plant? Because, for example, my mum's seen, I've had one of your vapes, just the CBD. She's like, she sees the little leaf on it, and that's it. What is that? You can't have that. And I'm like, it's completely legal.
Yeah, but to be fair, Arthur, she does know you better than us. She knows what you like.
Completely legal.
She has found other things in that shed.
And I find no, what's this?
The misconception is very much there. But you've got there's a part in the book with like Nancy Reagan and Just Say No to Drugs, and the other guy, I always forget his name, who demonised cannabis and the propaganda that was made around it, all really for political reasons, to get votes and everything else. So it's not going to be easy with that generation, but I certainly think it's a generational thing. I mean, you look now in California and America now, and
well, what is it? It must be 17, 20 states
more than that,
fully legal.
Yeah, I mean,
really more than that.
New York is like a different place now. New York is just like a weed factory.
Really?
I walked through Central Park and it was just. They used to set up selling CDs and stuff on the street, on the towels and that.
Fake DVDs.
Now it's caddy packs. There's like packs of weed, like loads, and they've just completely lost control.
They've got Deliveroo out there, and it's For weed?
Yeah, delivering
No.
weed. Yeah. I mean, they wouldn't even flash an eyelid. They come to me, American friend, they go, "What, dude? It's not legal here." Oh my God, how do you relax, dude? And I'm like, like they like can't believe it. They're like, we're in like prehistoric country over here. They're
Why
like,
did that happen in New York then?
when the mayor got caught with his pants down, didn't he?
Oh,
The governor.
No, well, that's it.
Yeah, he was cool. And then the next day, boom, and then it was legalised the next day. But look at Thailand now. Look at Thailand. My mate sent me a thing in Tesco's in Thailand. There's one of them. There's a portable store selling bod in the middle of Tesco's.
Wow.
I mean, Thailand's gone full on.
I went there. I was there last year, and I was like,
Well, after July.
yeah, like come have some drinks. Like, nah, I'm gonna go home and smoke some weed.
Yeah.
I was like, alright.
No, but it's completely
Yeah,
legal
yeah.
everywhere. But you can't get a vape. You're not allowed to have a vape there.
Well, that's illegal.
That's illegal.
Right.
But the cannabis is completely legal everywhere. So
It's coming then. It is coming.
I've seen as
It's
well.
coming, hopefully. I've been saying that.
Well,
for
the
years.
focus wasn't really, here today for the pro and the anti-weed lobby. It was more how you take something which is an opportunity and you develop that into the business that you've grown, and you can see by product variation.
You have to have some kahunas, and you've got to.
Yeah, if you're going to lead, you do have to have the big
If it's your
things.
passion, it doesn't really matter, because I can fail 100 times at this and I'll still come back. It's not going to ever keep me down. Whereas the art galleries, the event businesses.
That's a lesson for us all. If you've got a passion and you can follow that passion, it will keep you going.
It will keep you going. And then even in my worst hours with this business, and I was sat there and going, oh mate, it doesn't matter.
But optimistic. You're optimistic for the rest of the year.
Optimistic, yes, very much so. Well, I feel like a weight's been lifted off my shoulders. I've got control again.
You've got the control back now.
I'm back now. I think that the Medi thing is going to be a bit of a saviour for me. I think it's got more mass market potential.
Will that be within the same brand, Woody Med, or is it are you gonna
I'll talk to you boys about that.
Yeah, we'll
maybe spin it off?
Yeah, whatever sort of structure we can come up with that protects one another and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've got a few ideas.
But I can, if I can get into these clinics and get the THC proper legal THC vapes to medical patients, that would be a big thing. A slow thing, I think, because there's only 17,000 patients currently in the UK.
What with prescribed?
Prescribed cannabis, yeah. It's growing every day, but I think last time I checked it was 17,000. So you've got to be a bit slower. But this is a mass market product that's got mad potential.
Nice.
So yeah.
Good way to finish that. I mean, it's been 1 hour and 20 minutes, so I think we'll have to wrap it up.
wrap
Yeah, I'm just going to show you one last thing, though.
Of course.
You're going to help me right there.
This is going to be.
Right.
I'm excited.
This is how we close the podcast. So this is my Willy Wonka thing. So this is my weed bubbles. So I get the terpenes and I flavour the edible bubbles.
Edible bubbles.
Edible bubbles. So the nose, and we.
And you're going to turn it on and cover us in weed bubbles.
Yeah. Now eat them. Go on, suck one in. Suck one in. Eat them.
Richard. Makes you cough. Go on,
There we go.
Go on,
It's the weed bubble party at Q.
You probably taste it.
Taste the weed.
Thanks for joining us here at Cube Consultancy. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Arthur. Thank you,
Willy
Richard.
Wonka. Thank you.